Hey y'all, this is Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey Kat. And this is the Fake Ass Book Club. Wait, can we both say it or no?
Bam!
All right, guys, welcome back. It's your girl, Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey, Kat.
Hey, Moni.
What's up, friend?
Oh, my uppityness. What about you?
Probably my blood pressure. I had a really stressful couple of weeks.
Because there's so many good things in your life, though. Think of what you were busy from. Like you were celebrating graduations, marriages, births. Like, I guess that's birthdays, isn't it? Did I say that?
Birthdays.
Whatever.
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of abundance.
Yeah.
And it was all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm tired from all the abundance. What about yourself?
I managed to get in some rest. I'm a little, I'm on the cusp of being overwhelmed. But if I don't do my stuff, nothing bad happens. For real. Like the stakes are pretty low, so.
I know. It's just like, I don't know why I feel like they're so high, though.
That's your amygdala.
Huh? My brain? What? I hate that. I hate when
it's your amygdala. It's
Just take a break.
But it's what's
sis.
gotten us this far.
Ugh.
Like our ancestors needed to be panicky little mammals to not get eaten.
Yeah.
And now we're here and we're still scared all the time. So we just have to find a way to circumvent that and put it to use for us.
You know what? Yes, and to that. I was definitely, cheers to that, friend, doing some deep breathing this week.
Do you ever do box breathing?
I do, and it's nice. And
the Marines do that. It works.
Who?
The Marines.
Oh, Marines. I thought you said Morans. I'm like, who are they?
Marines probably do too.
The Morans.
They should.
Just
if
how
they
country?
don't, even if they're imaginary.
Morans. Anyway, you guys.
Speaking of mermaids, that reminds me of the word mermaid.
I know. Kind of like what we're talking about today, you guys. We're gonna dig into the new Little Mermaid movie that just came out. I believe it came out the day before Memorial Day, like May 26th, somewhere in there.
Y'all know the vibes. It's been everywhere.
And if you haven't heard about it, honestly, I don't know how you could not if I did, because I never hear about anything. So shame on you if you don't know this. But it was one of my childhood favorites, so I was really excited to see the remake. And so I'm excited to talk about it.
Did you get to see the original in theaters?
I don't remember that.
I distinctly remember not going to see it. Like, I really, really wanted to.
Okay.
And didn't get a chance to. But I do
Why?
remember when it came out on, you would have to ask my parents.
Wow, haters.
I
I
knew not to be overly demanding. We spoke about this before about how, my mother kept it about, like, you don't spend my money for me.
Mm-mm.
So
you don't question me about it neither.
No,
How
it's
about that?
none of that going on. You have a pretty lovely life here, so maybe a little more gratitude
How
is
about
warranted. And she was right.
Okay.
But
turns out,
because I was just fine. I saw it on VHS when it came out on VHS and watched it relentlessly. And
it was a good time.
It's cherished childhood memories.
I love it.
So yeah.
So we should get into it, you guys.
Agreed.
Before we kind of dig into The Little Mermaid and the review, you guys, let's dedicate this episode. Hands over your hearts, everyone. Thank you for joining us once again for a fabulous episode of the Fake Ass Book Club. We want to do a special thank you to our patrons. You guys are the best. Also, I want to dedicate this to, I'm going to say to representation just in general, because that's what this movie reminded me of and just how important it is. So just the fact that we have a beautiful, iconic, talented young lady like Halle Baily? I always want to call her Halle Baily.
Let's call her Miss Bailey.
It's so messed up. Miss
Because
Bailey,
she's
if you nasty,
Miss-
you know? Like,
Bailey.
shout out to you,
Bravo.
young lady. She's just so beautiful. I love that she's the representation for that. And she nailed it. She did a great job. So shout out to you. What about you?
Yes, and definitely that. This one is dedicated to Black men. This is also going to be a shameless plug for my upcoming art show this Friday, June 9th. The theme of it is just going to be Black men. It's just going to be a love letter to Black men because I need Black men to love themselves. Because a wise man once told me that people can only love you to the extent that they love themselves.
Ooh.
And so I need a lot of love. So I'm going to need whoever loves me to love themselves a lot.
That is so true.
So dedication over.
I love that, friend. That's nice.
Let's talk about this mermaid.
Let's talk about this little daggone mermaid, you
Oh,
guys.
okay. So, guys, I actually read the book. This is, if people didn't know, The Little Mermaid is based on a fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen called The Little Mermaid. And I read it so that I could do a little compare contrast, because I don't know if you heard the little debate Miss Pat and friend of the show Chris Spangle got into on the Pat Down podcast. He was just saying, like, the actual message of the movie is kind of messed up, like a lot of Disney movies. Quite honestly,
yeah.
it's not the best. And Miss Pat was just yelling at him because she's like, it's not about that right now. We finally got a black mermaid.
Right, so shut your ass up.
Shush. It's like, you could have made that point anytime between, when was this originally written? In like,
What, 1837?
yeah, you had since 1837 to make that argument. And let me put that back, because the actual message from the book is very different than the movie. So the movie the original was like, what, in the 1900s?
It was definitely.
So you've had since the 1900s to make this point. Don't use our beautiful black mermaid, to highlight your point. Now it's time to highlight some bohemian faux locks. So,
Oh my God, so beautiful. Loved it. Loved
did you
it a
see
lot.
how much they spent on the hair?
No, but hold on though. So do
I'm
you
very
have?
excited. Sorry, it's hard.
Hold on,
Okay,
Fred.
okay.
This is exciting stuff. So go back though, because for people who aren't familiar with the original one, I want you. Do you have like a little
I do.
about that one? Let's
Got a little copy.
let's take it back to the 1800s one time.
The Little Mermaid is a literary fairy tale written by Danish author Hans Christian Andersen, first published in 1837 as part of a collection of fairy tales for children. The story follows the journey of a young mermaid who is willing to give up her life in the sea as a mermaid to gain a human soul.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. That is a crazy.
The old fairy tales, it's so funny. It was so to control children. Like, when I tell you, like, the last little bit of the story, it's so funny.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so then how do you want to do this? You want to talk a little bit about the old version and then we can kind of jump into the
No,
new?
I want to do the new one first.
New one first. Okay,
New one first.
first, guys.
Yeah,
Okay. So the movie that just came out, let's see, do you have
Well, let's get
anything
into
on
it.
that
People
one?
are mad because she's black. And can I
Oh.
say she's barely black? It's not like she's just like, she's such, let me calm down.
It's
like,
a
she's
watered
just
down
so
black.
black.
It is very true that, and I mean, this movie, they've been working on this for the last like 2-3
I remember when they
years.
first announced
So it's like, we've had a lot of time to talk about the fact that she's black and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, what is your take on that? Why do you think that was so controversial? Like,
I think there's just a lot of anti-black sentiments. And, well, really all over the world, but especially here in America. And
super weird.
there's I don't know where I heard this term, but something called first person syndrome, or first character, or I don't know. Basically, like, there's just this idea that if you center someone who isn't white in a narrative, somehow it's hurting white people. Or people who consider themselves
Well,
white.
their
Because once
feelings.
again, Kat does not believe in the concept of whiteness. So,
Well,
but if you consider yourself white and you have to basically learn about something from someone else's point of view, that feels like oppression.
it does though. Like, when I have to understand how my husband feels, I feel, I'm just kidding, babe. It's like, oh my God. No, but I mean, I think ultimately it's probably just a human thing. Like, I think that we do tend to tell ourselves stories in a first person way that center ourselves, because I mean, that's how we see the world. But I do think that it gets problematic when you can't hear other stories that aren't based from your point of view. And I think that as people of color, you're forced to do
You're
that.
just used to it.
So you're not like, I mean, it's not always your favorite, but it's like this
Some
happens.
of them are, though. Like, there's so many, like, Asian narratives that to me are, like, when we've
this is
done Amy Tan's work and stuff like that, I didn't feel personally attacked, because it's like, it's Asian women?
You should
That's
have,
not a
though.
black woman. It's like, how am I supposed to learn anything or enjoy that? It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is a human being who's having an experience, and even as foreign as some of it might be, it's still deeply relatable.
Absolutely. Well, I'm with you on that. I think that, so if we just kind of dig right into the story. So basically, the new version, because this version came out, like you said, in the 1900s. It had to be the early 19.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just Google it real quick, but basically, it was it was a cartoon version that we grew up watching, which was literally one of my top 3 favorite Disney movies
so
at the time.
Gorgeously animated,
and the voices,
and the music. Everything everything about it. Once again, it was so deeply rewatchable.
Yeah.
And it's also Pride, so also side dedication for all the Ligga-Bigga-Tiggas. Like, this is your month. Be proud.
Let's go.
And Ursula is a queer icon based on drag queen Divine.
Okay.
And it was giving all of that. Like, now looking back, I'm like, oh, so obviously a drag. Ursula was very
the old
much,
one for
and
sure.
that's why she had the best song.
My God.
Like, that is, I mean, I thought Melissa McCarthy did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
But they even kind of toned her down. You know what I mean? Like, Ursula was giving body
She was.
and sensuality. And I feel like they turn, once again, it's for children.
Well, and it's interesting too, because anytime I look back at old movies that we grew up watching, I'm like, yo, like we just watched Big. This Is a Hard Left with my kids.
Right, because he ended up doing it with that lady.
You guys, he got turned into a grown up. He made a wish at a freaking Tom Hanks made like a wish on this Zoltron machine, something. It was like a genie dude, and he ended up being an adult and thrusted into adult life, and he ended up like having this.
Because he was a 14-year-old.
He was 13.
13 in the body of an adult man.
And then
ended up taking this lady down.
He didn't mean to, and then she was...
Because she had to have him. She's like, your childlike innocence is turning me on.
It was wild, and I just thought, whoa, like they can't make this now.
No, they shouldn't, no.
And so that's it. So with this movie, I do feel like, I saw that they took some creative liberties to kind of, maybe that was part of it, like, over-sexualizing her or making her super sexual. Maybe that was like a concerted effort to kind of tone down the sexuality part. I don't know.
It made it a little less fun because she is supposed to be this, seductress in a way.
Yeah.
She's trying to lure her into the ways of human flesh.
Yeah.
So it was.
They even changed her song a little bit.
Like,
I don't think that they had like the body language part. Like her song was very...
And actually that was in the original though, the Hans Christian Andersen one, where the sea witch tells her, it's like, you'll have your...
looks
you're pretty fit. And not in those words, but she basically tells her, because she's like, well, if I can't talk, what am I supposed to do? And she was like, girl, you got them eyes and you got that nice little form. And she told her all that. Oh, also fun, I'm just going to throw this in here now. One of the differences, because in the movie, like her little voice comes out in that little glowing little orb or whatever, and it's all beautiful. In the original, she just cuts her tongue out.
What? This was a
children could take more. Listen, we baby children too much. They could take it. It was white. There was a lot of blood. Not a lot.
No.
Well, some. Not zero.
Okay.
Okay. We'll get into it.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So yeah, I think that you could tell that they were making it for 2023. Like there were some differences, and it was like, okay.
Well, and let's talk about the diversity, because that was the other thing too people were mad about, because her dad was I guess Mexican.
What is that mean?
Because and then people were trying to say like he was white, and people were like, no, he's Mexican. It's like, technically there are white Mexicans, people. Like,
that is true.
I mean, or what we would consider white Mexicans. But yes, the cast, like all of her sisters were basically from different populations.
Oh, Javier.
Because we had the beautiful one from Bridgerton season 2. She was one of the sisters. Like basically she had a white sister, she had a black sister, she had a Indian sister. They just had all the sisters represented, all the girls, because every girl deserves to see herself depicted as a mermaid. Did you want to be a mermaid?
I literally wanted to be a mermaid.
Every girl wants to be a mermaid. Like that is a whole thing. I remember listening to Code Switch one time, and it was they were talking about Afro-Latina girls and how they're stigmatized if they have el pelo malo, the bad hair. And so, like, when they would be in the tub playing mermaids, like, she was never able to do the little Ariel stuff. And I was like, oh, my goodness. Like, every girl should feel like you're a beautiful mermaid. And it's also a juxtaposition because the Little Mermaid is wishing to be you. Like, that's sort of what is kind of interesting about it. Like, there's this longing, deep longing to be human. Like, the story is basically supposed to be teaching you to appreciate what you have. Like, that's the original. message.
Because I didn't get that from...
No, the Disney one is more aspirational, where it's like you need to go past. And I think they're both sort of good lessons.
Okay, so what do you think the lesson is from the new one? Or just from the one we grew up seeing and then this one now?
Because here's the thing. This is what Kristen was complaining about, where she disobeyed her parents and everything worked out. Okay. And so...
I mean, that happens sometimes.
It does. But, like, sometimes you do need to look a little bit past what your parents can see for you.
Right.
So I feel like that's a pretty strong theme. But I think giving up your voice and getting amnesia isn't the best way to do it. Because those... To me, she did... Yeah, because when she, in the new one, Ursula wipes her memory.
Oh, amnesia. I'm like, what's that? Amnesia?
What did I say?
Amnesia. I thought that was something new, girl. I was like, well, what's that?
I just say stuff wrong.
You're the smart one.
I drank the whole thing.
Okay. That's fine. I just want to make sure we were on the same page, love, because I was like, hold up, though. Did I miss it? Okay.
Thanks for the correction.
Yeah, no, okay.
Amnesia.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she wipes her memory. So, the idea that she just sort of stumbles into success... just with her, love and sensitivity, I guess. I don't know. Like, that's not necessary. But it is fun. It's fun to watch. Like...
Yeah, I mean, because, obviously every story does have sort of an overarching message. And for me, it was always like, I think when I was younger, I didn't really pick up on like, hey, you should like meet a strange man that's not part of your tribe and you should leave your whole family for him. You should be willing to give it all up, disobey your parents and like move on.
But and change yourself.
And change who you are ultimately.
Fundamentally. And stop talking.
Like, yikes, right. Like shut the hell up. Be cute.
Yeah. That's why that song was so good. The men up there don't like a lot of blather.
But
but they don't though.
I wish that they and I'd blather so much. It's so bad.
A girl who gossips is a bore.
This is why we're here, cause...
But that's right. That's why but I think I've always known, I'm like, okay, if I am partnered with a male, I know I can't unload on him the way I can with you. Like you're just not.
Sometimes you're just gonna get it, sir. I'm sorry, because
it's not. Of course you are,
don't care,
but it's not going to feed you the way it feeds me.
No,
you know what
different.
I mean? Like I feel like it's a mutual exchange. Like I'm like I like hearing what you have to say.
Yeah, exactly. Because they hate it so much.
They don't
They
like
have to pretend.
They don't like. I mean, sometimes
glazed over.
Sometimes
their eyes
they'll
are just
be like,
glazed
"Oh
over.
man,"
and like, sometimes I know it, and I don't even care.
I don't even care.
I'm just like, and I'm still saying it.
You know what?
Because you have
put
to
in that work.
Listen, trust me. I listen to stuff I don't care about either. It's reciprocal. Y'all ain't that interesting either.
I totally care about the playoffs.
No,
Wednesday.
I didn't even what.
Wednesday is games.
I thought it was over.
It's not over.
It's
the semifinals are over. Now it's the finals.
I thought it was over in June.
No.
Like right as soon as June started.
I mean, it really just depends on how many games there are.
Okay.
They once in them. I care so much. Oh my God! I can't
don't
name
care about
one professional basketball player who's in the finals right now.
Well, it's not LeBron. I do know that.
I know. That's why I can't name anyone.
And wait, is
someone
it
who
Steph
plays for the
Curry?
Heat? No,
he's not in there. He's so good though. He should be there.
Very, very talented young man.
Should be there, guy.
Yeah, I think we just proved our point.
That was our sports ding.
That was our fake ass sports report.
You're welcome, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the day this is published, like that, the finals will be starting shortly after we publish this episode.
Oh, okay, good. So that's
good luck to everyone around. I don't know. It depends on just do you like this? Would you rather go to Denver or Miami?
Oh, Miami.
Okay, so let's go Miami.
Miami.
Yeah, go Heat.
I got to do some exercises before I go.
I don't. The body is not an apology.
Have you been to Miami?
No, but I don't care. Like I'm not trying to like legitimately compete with like 19-year-old Latinas. Like it's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Like yeah, I'll
Definitely
just
not.
wear a muumuu.
Ooh, yes, comfy muumuus for everyone. Anywho, you guys, so were there any things in the movie that you were disappointed? I mean, we kind of talked about how there was parts of the movie that
sadly to say, the animals like Flounder and Scuttle and
what's wrong with them?
I don't like how realistic they make them. Every time I saw Sebastian, I got hungry. Like
wow. His crab
'Cause
legs,
those
you're
were-
trifling, first
They
of
look
all.
juicy, man.
Wow.
Juicy crab.
Ew. So, hot take. Like, who says that? Like, what?
Cat, apparently.
Wow. You were lusting after his thickness.
Every time he was
You're
on
gross.
there,
Ought to
looked
be
delicious.
ashamed.
And they didn't play that song, Les Poissons.
I wanted that too. I
That's
wanted
a
to hear that
banger.
too.
That would have been fun to see.
It would have been hilarious.
But that would have, I'm sure, it would have been very expensive. And
and I was like, do you think they did that because like animal rights or something? Oh, okay. I don't know. I was like, is it too much to see a crab like fighting for his life or something?
man,
I'd like to see
I
that.
had a crab right now. So,
Okay. Samesies,
I
though.
wish they could have looked more cartoonish. I get that they tried to be more realistic or whatever, but I would have liked the big eyes so they could be more expressive and silly. I did love Awkwafina, though, as the voice.
Okay, she was fun. My kids
So it was
enjoyed
still
her.
fun. And like I said, this is a children's movie, so I think it's more important what children think of it as opposed to adults.
That is true.
Because like if I had heard a bunch of like adult commentary about the original Little Mermaid when I was getting my 11-year-old life, I'd have been like,
man,
shut
hush, I
up,
love
shut your old
this.
ass
Yeah.
up. What is your problem?
It's like,
This
that
is
was
for
from-
me.
Your day is over.
It's over. You're
Next
old.
caller. Next caller. So yeah, I mean, that doesn't really bother me because I know with these live action movies, that's the thing.
That's what you came to expect.
Yeah, so I wasn't so much offended by that, but I did not like the accent of the crab.
Sebastian, yeah, that wasn't my favorite part for sure.
And I loved Sebastian in the
I do
cartoon. Like he was
too.
a lot of the comic relief. And so it's like his character didn't have the like brightness because I just felt like part of that
it
was
did
his
feel
accent.
desaturated.
It did.
Because the original is so and that's what brings your eye back to it. It's like ooh, it's so saturated and vibrant and stuff like that. So once again, they didn't
like
consult
that.
us though, but we're
They
just
didn't.
podcasters. So.
Yeah, I mean, just it didn't ruin it for me. Because
Not at all. I definitely want to see it again. Like once it's on Disney Plus, I'll be watching it. I was like looking up the stuff about the key hairstylist.
So tell me about this. You were saying about the hair and stuff and how much.
$250,000 on her hair materials.
Are you for real?
Yes.
Black hair, yo,
Man.
is
Because I mean, she did have
expensive.
several looks. There wasn't just the one.
It's true.
So you have to have several pieces.
I
to me,
loved
it's
her
just
hair
fast. I
though.
loved
It was
it.
so pretty under the water.
Well, that was
and then she
CGI.
came out. Oh, okay. That was
Underwater.
CGI?
It to me looked like, I can't say for sure. I didn't double check, but to me it looked like underwater. The hair was CGI.
Okay. I don't know. It was cute.
It was
and
beautiful.
Then she came up and it was cute. She had like a little headband. I thought, oh, she is.
It's giving looks. I liked it very
So
much.
nice.
It would have been nice to see. I feel like there weren't any black mermen.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I didn't see that. I would have liked to see
Mermaids?
like a shark type merman.
A shark one.
Yeah.
How are you a merman if you're a shark?
Well, just like a shark tail. You know what I mean? Like it just real mass, like real. I mean,
Look at you creating. See, this
I know.
is,
It's just.
listen,
I would have liked
that
to
can
maybe
happen.
part
I'm
maybe
just-
part two.
Listen.
Because there'll be more of that. But yeah, I think the
Okay.
overall lesson, I mean, well, I guess it was more about, because I think the lesson they were trying to have was you need to get over your xenophobia, because the land people were afraid of the sea people and the sea people were afraid of the land people. And Ariel was kind of like the key to the kingdom, where she was like
Yeah.
this hybrid of like, no, we're both great.
Oh my gosh. What did you think about Prince Eric?
It's cool.
Yeah. He had a cute dimple.
He
I
did.
wasn't impressed with his like singing voice.
Oh, did he
Am
sing?
I shady? Yeah.
I don't even remember. It wasn't
See,
memorable.
He was on the
but
sales
I don't think
and
it must
shit.
not have been bad. Oh, he did have a number.
He had a number.
It didn't resonate.
See,
I
didn't
would have,
resonate.
if I could have swapped that for a Les Poissons.
I would have definitely swapped.
Oh, you know what? It's probably culturally insensitive too.
Oh, sorry.
That part.
Because when we're saying the culturally insensitive part over and over again. Sorry.
Our bad. They were saying too, since
I'm
it
so
would
sorry.
have, one of the criticisms has been it was sort of glazing over the colonialism, because it was a Caribbean island, and so
Oh,
there
it
would have been like
glazed, honey.
mad slavery, like all the
It
black people were super
glazed.
happy and stuff.
Yeah, they were dancing and shit.
But it's just fake, so let us just have this.
That's the only thing I will say that is that like a lot of things that we're involved in as people of color, it's like everything doesn't have to be oppression. Like we get it, like everything's not going to be historically accurate, and it's
Yeah.
like, why can't these fictional
It's
people exist in a
they're
place where
fish
that's not a
people.
thing? Yeah,
There's fish people. So don't try to bring the logic police to the Fish People movie.
I mean, it's hard not to. I get it. I think, because I'm kind of doing that, but then it's like I have to remember it is the Fish People movie, and there's no place for this.
It's Disney.
It's just
and
a Disney
oh,
movie.
can I also say for my daughter, it just ended up being an expensive nap. Because I paid for 3D and everything. She made it 30 minutes in. I loved it, though. It was mostly for me.
It was really good. So tell me, though, compared to the Ursula, like we kind of said, like she was less sexual. What did you think about her, like, singing and her performance, though? Like her iteration?
It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch. And also, I'm biased because I love Melissa McCarthy.
I think she's hilarious,
I think
too.
she's fantastic. And so, can I get into the book a little bit?
Please, yes.
Okay, so the Sea Witch in the book, she doesn't play like as much of a role. Like Ariel's sisters are way bigger in the book than the Sea Witch. The Sea Witch gets introduced really, really late. There's a lot of expedition. She's like, hey, I already know your whole situation.
Yada,
You don't
yada,
know why. She already knows everything, but she knows his situation. And she's like, look, I'll help you fall in love with him, but you got to give me your voice, and I'll give you a potion that'll turn you into a person. But if you don't get him to, but the moment he marries someone else, when the sun sets on that day, you'll die of a broken heart and turn into sea foam. But I'm glad I read the book because I thought that was what ends up happening to her. That's actually not what ends up happening. She, one of the reasons she wanted to fall in love with a human was so that she would get a soul. Because it was also like very much a little bit of Christian propaganda. Like it's the Dutch. It's, there has to be that element in there. And so because also another thing that was in the book that's not in the movie is Ariel's grandmother. So Ariel's grandmother basically raises her because she doesn't have her mom. And so her grandmother is the one who told her, it's like, yeah, humans have souls, but mer people don't. But if you can get a human to fall in love with you, and the moment a priest joins your hands and says the words and he falls in love with you, then you'll have a soul and you'll be able to live on forever, after you die. But once mer people die, we just turn to sea foam and our existence is annihilated. So that was part of Ariel's motivation for wanting to fall in love with the human prince.
That makes a lot more sense because it's like, why is she obsessed? I mean, I guess you just,
Well, she does save his life in the book. And so she's infatuated with him because that was the thing that was different too. In the book, her sisters were super into the shipwrecks and Ariel was more into her garden and stuff like that. But there was a human sculpture in her garden that looked like the prince.
Okay, gotcha.
And so that's why she was just like, oh, I just gotta have him. I gotta have him. And so I feel like the overall lesson was you shouldn't give up your life and your family just to be the therapist and plaything to some guy. Because that's ultimately what she became. Like he would just tell her everything because she couldn't talk. And so he just shared everything with her. And would just be like, and treated her like a pet. This is the other thing that was super funny too. Just because this, words change over time. Everybody kept calling her dumb because she couldn't talk. Like that's what that literally means.
Right. It was like,
but he was like, oh, my dumb little foundling. Like, and whenever he addressed her, it was always
like patting her on her head real hard.
Yes, she was basically just his little pet because she was really beautiful and he would just parade her about. But of course, he's a prince. He had to marry someone who could talk. And so... after he marries this other princess, she was about, because this was the other part that was crazy.
What?
So her sisters, because everyone is heartbroken when they find out that the Little Mermaid has made this deal with the Sea Witch.
Well, yeah.
And so her father, her sisters, her grandmother's hair fell out from stressed. And then the sisters, they sold their hair to the Sea Witch to cut a new deal. And they were like, here, take this knife. If you kill the prince before the sun sets, then you can use the blood and put that on your on your feet, and it'll turn them back into fins. And then you can come back and join us. But... so her family had to sacrifice all this stuff to get her back. And so she takes the dagger and she's about to go to the room and kill the prince, but then she can't do it and throws the dagger into the sea. and it starts like spurting up blood or whatever. But then what happens is instead of turning into sea foam, she becomes one of the daughters of the air. And so as long as she serves human, just magic stuff. And so once she like I think some like 300 years have passed or something like that. If she helps people be good, then she can gain a soul. And
only 300 years.
And here's the thing. This is the lesson for the kids. So these spirits, you never know when they're going to show up, but if they come in a room and children are being good, then that takes a day off of their 300-day probation.
One day.
They use the word probation. And so, it can shorten the time that she'll be able to get a human soul. But if kids are being bad, when the daughters of the air come in, then that adds a day to their probation.
I mean, honestly, 301 days, 300 days.
But imagine how often kids are bad. So every time you're being bad, that is setting the Little Mermaid back to where she can get her soul.
I hate this as a fairy tale. This is not...
But it's a way to get the kids to behave. It's a little reminiscent of Santa Claus, a little Santa Claus. Where it's like we can see what you're doing. It's invisible, but we can see you, and you're messing it up for these magical creatures who just want to have a soul like you human people.
And you don't even appreciate yours.
You don't even do.
You know?
So I'm
You're
like,
ungrateful.
this is very, very. When I got to that part, I was like, wow, because it is a beautifully told story. Can I say that? Like, it's beautifully written. Actually, I tried to listen to it. The first time I tried to listen to it, I fell asleep because it's hypnotic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, that's why you tell kids fairy tales before they go to bed. And so, and I did. I had a great sleep. And then I had to listen to it again. And then when I got to the end, I was like, wow, that was manipulative.
Oh my gosh. Aren't they all? That's all we do to each other.
But
anyway.
yeah, it was a good story about you definitely shouldn't give up everything you have and are for your first crush.
That felt crazy. It's like, you don't know this man, And also the fact that, I don't know, like his interaction with her and him not knowing who she was felt a little bit like, I mean, didn't you kind of saw her, but not really?
I mean, drowning's pretty traumatic.
Okay, fine.
Oh, because that was the other thing that was kind of weird. So when she saved the prince, she took him to like this temple, and one of the girls who served at the temple took care of him. And they're just like a temple that provides the service. I'm like, what service? And so there's this other girl who's part of the story too, who kind of looked like the little, because he said she resembles her and stuff like that. Because he said he actually wants to marry her, but he can't because she's in service to the temple. And I'm like, what temple is this?
You're supposed to know. If you were from 1837, you'd know.
Maybe. Mm-hmm. It was giving sex work.
Okay. See. The temple of my familiar?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Wowza. Well, you know what? For me, Halle made the movie.
Oh, yeah.
She was the best Little Mermaid. Like, her voice. I mean, everything that I've heard about the production leading up to, like the table reads and stuff, people were like in tears because of how beautiful and angelic her voice was. And not only that, like she looks like an animated character. Again, you wanted everybody to have these big eyes. Like, she just had them. She automatically had this like innocent beauty about her.
And that is how she's described in the original book, of she's just sort of far away, ethereal.
I mean, very beautiful. Her voice. I mean, it was just... It blew me away.
And shout out to the original Ariel. She's in the movie. She's in the marketplace when Ariel and Prince Eric go to the market.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little scene where you see, I can't remember the woman's name, but peace to her.
Did she eat the flower?
Yeah, right after she eats the flower.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Or
all
before,
right.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, in the marketplace.
That's cute.
Funny.
Yeah, that was adorable.
But yes, I love a cameo.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely wasn't exactly like the one... I think a lot of it was the same, but I liked some of the creative license. Like, there were some cool new songs. Again, I could have lived without Eric's song. And yeah, I mean, he was cute. I liked their chemistry, though. I thought that they...
Yeah. Once again, it would be nice to see one black princess with a black prince.
At least he was attractive, kind of.
Yes, that was nice.
You know, because we just had that critique last week about like, do we always have to get stuck with the homely white man? You know, like, can he be cute for once?
We're talking about Bridgerton. Yeah.
So at least listen, we're moving in the right direction.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Maybe one day we can like maybe work like baby steps, like get a light skin prince. And then maybe
Let's
one
just go
day
straight
we
to
can see
paperback
some
brown.
black regality, which is my
beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's the sister Keisha, was that her name?
Mm-hmm.
She the dark skin, the
Daughter.
dark skin. Oh my god, like
They were also gorgeous.
The costuming of the mermaids, the colors, chef kiss.
Yeah, chef.
Like,
it was beautiful.
shout out
that
to
first scene where you see all the daughters. Because the daughters were once again really or the sisters were integral. In
I
the
hate that
original
they
story.
weren't in this. I think there should be a
I think
spinoff
it's probably
of the sisters.
expensive.
I'm sure it is.
I'm sure like
the hair. If Ariel's hair was $250K.
Oh, because I love the shark scene. That was
good.
That
It was good.
really good.
Mhm.
Oh, and then there was. Oh wait. There was the Under the Sea. Under the Sea. Because I feel like that won an Academy Award. I think the original.
Probably. It was really good.
It
It's a good one.
was.
And it was really beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, I think, you know, you see all the credits at the end. Like, when we were done watching it, my son was like,
That's a lot of
all
people.
those people. He was like, I would hate if my name was at the end. I said, oh, no. No. If your name is up there, you're getting paid. So that's a good thing. I don't care where it shows up in the
And that
credits.
means you have credits.
You have credits. I said, that it doesn't matter where your name shows
Disney
up.
credit?
That's what I was trying to let him know. But I was like, it takes so many people to make these productions. So shout out to everybody doing their job, because
Yeah, that was
it
amazing.
it was beautiful. And yeah, man. So if you had to rate this, or actually, am I jumping ahead? Is there something else you wanted to add?
I was gonna say, oh gosh, my notes are terrible. Oh, God.
I mean, we could just take a break
I'm trying
and
to
come
see
back
if I could
and then figure it out.
Mermaids don't have souls, dumb tongues, sisters go to surface. Yeah, I guess that was it.
I mean, yeah, it's not. I mean, we were out here.
Oh no, wait! Hijacking the episode. Into the Beyond the Spider-Verse. Also saw that this weekend.
No.
Amazing.
What?
My daughter saw it 3 times this weekend. I only saw it once. But you want to talk about... I'm not going to give any spoilers.
I feel like we should take a break and then come back and say this. You're getting very excited. This is gonna, you guys, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna get her some water and some milk. She needs some milk. We'll be right back.
Spider-Man.
All right, guys, welcome back from the break. Wow, that was
We accomplished a lot over that break. You guys don't
I think
know.
so.
Like, go to Patreon if you want to hear like what the breaks are like.
Listen, we do. We have lots to talk about.
Production.
Yes. But you know what? I wanted to rate the book and kind of get your feel for, like, you know, what was your overall, like, what would you give it?
I'm giving it 5 out of 5 boho locks.
Ooh, them $250,000 ones.
Yeah.
Ooh, those are nice. I want those for Beyonce's
I loved
concert.
it. I was just, I guess, I feel like I've been giving the last couple things 5 out of 5, but I just love this.
I do too, though. And I mean, if I had to, like, the only thing I'm really taking away from it's not fair, because it's like it's a adaptation, so it shouldn't be the exact same. But I did miss some of the old stuff. But I think overall, Halle got me together. I mean, I'm giving it a 10 just based off of her. I had to take it off.
What?
I had to take it
New
off the
system.
5-point scale and just say
10 out of 10?
I give it 10 out of 10, man. I'm giving it 10 out of 10. I'm gonna give it dingle hoppers.
that is
You know,
such a great moment of her combing her hair with a fork. We see how you got there,
Yes.
Ariel. You're not that crazy.
I love
Or
that song
Scuttles.
too. That song is iconic, man. Like, it literally
Wait,
had
which
me almost
song?
in tears. Like the main song, "Part of Your World."
Oh, Part of Your World. Yes.
That song was so good,
It's-
man.
I
it still
mean,
was. It's a banger.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. But you
yeah.
don't have to do all that to be part of somebody's world.
You don't. It just was a good song.
Don't give up your voice.
Don't. Oh God, don't do that. Don't do that. And she was just so young and beautiful and didn't even know. You're going to have to. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it was really good. If you guys haven't seen it, you should check it out.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. I know it's going to be on Disney.
2 thumbs up. Fine holiday fun.
Yeah, it was.
That was Memorial Day weekend?
Twas.
Yeah.
Yep. And so, you were talking about another movie coming out. I interrupted you totally.
Did I?
Yeah, you did, girl. The Spider-Man movie.
That's been out. Like I said, this past weekend.
Been out. One weekend. Wow. So it's not new anymore because it came out last weekend. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Right. That's how media works now.
Sure. Okay.
This is the future, and that's how it works now. Yeah, Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Okay. And you got your life, is what you're saying.
So, similar things, because I think people were upset that we now have a Spider-Man of color.
An urban Spider-Man.
Yes, and it's so, I don't want to do any spoilers, but there is a cameo that has to do with sort of like the internet outcry over these classically what we think of white characters being played by now people of color.
Right, how dare they?
And so that's sort of a similar theme. But ultimately, I love this theme of Spider-Man. To me has always been great because with great powers comes
great responsibility.
That's right.
Ding,
and
ding,
I
ding.
think that's a good lesson. I feel like that's why I like comic books, because they have very good lessons. You can use your powers for good or evil. What are you going to do?
Depends on the day.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
But I love Spider-Verse. I will say, for the at least for my daughter, she elected to fall asleep on the Little Mermaid, and she elected to see Spider-Verse 3 times over the weekend.
Okay.
So
wow.
I think that really speaks to
She likes boys.
She does like boys, but I mean, who doesn't like boys?
They're
Especially
cool.
black boys. They're so cute.
They kind of are though.
So, and charming, and the Jays.
The Jays.
Remember when going out in Broad Ripple and there'd be those signs that say no white shirts, no snapbacks, no Jays? Do you remember that?
Did you say no hats?
Yeah, no snapbacks.
Is that what those are called? They said snapbacks?
Snapbacks and tattoos. Aren't those snapbacks?
I don't know. I thought a snapback was
I
a
hope
snap-on
I
ponytail or
hope I
something.
don't sound stupid.
No, it's not that. Look, I am so ignorant. You cannot base your feeling smart or stupid on
Help me
my
out,
lack of
listeners.
knowledge.
Help me out. Was that a
Snapbacks.
thing? I feel like that was a thing where they were just like, basically, we're tired of seeing all these black dudes
No
in the club.
Tims.
No Tims,
All
no
the stuff y'all
J's,
love to wear.
no white tees.
Don't come here
'cause
with
like,
that.
because you're in a gang.
Yeah,
And it's like, no, I'm just
I like looking fly. Yeah.
'Cause, I won't get into all that. But
Okay. No, you're probably right. I don't remember snapbacks particularly, but I do remember there being like strict dress codes that were
that
specifically
seemed
aimed toward.
targeted. Targeted.
They were definitely targeted.
So, Into the Spider-Verse is great if you like diverse casts.
Mm-hmm.
I will say Spider-Punk was probably one of my faves. I won't do too many spoilers because I wanted to bring up a picture, but I couldn't even find pictures of
really?
Spider-Punk without the mask on. So apparently that's something of a reveal. So
apparently.
but he is voiced by Daniel Kaluuya.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Kaluuya. I like him.
Okay, I do too.
And
That's nice.
so he does a great job. I think that was my favorite part of Beyond the Spider-Verse. It was gorgeous. I love all the different animation styles. And of course, it's Spider-Man, so it's funny. Mm-hmm. It's, I think that's what I think the attraction is. Why my daughter wanted to keep seeing it was the energy and the color and the art. It's beautiful. And the fact that, kind of like the Gwen character is featured
the
a lot
white,
heavier.
the Lady Spider.
Yeah, Lady Spider.
The Lady Spider lady.
And Issa's in it. Issa Rae is in it. Oh my gosh, she's so thick.
Is she?
Yes. It's how well, you can draw yourself however you want to.
Okay.
She's an animated character.
I was like, Issa.
So, like, everything. Fro real big.
I love
ass
it.
real big.
Let's go.
Glasses real big.
Okay.
Everything real big. So,
I like it.
yeah, I had a really good time with that. So, yeah, had to turn this into a side review for Into the Spider-Verse. But those are the top 2 movies in the country right now.
I know, man. I haven't seen it. I can't wait to. My son is waiting patiently for us to take him. Okay. So he's into it.
My daughter went Thursday, and
right. Well, he doesn't have a job.
and then called me and was immediately like, "I want to see it again." So we had to go again Friday, and then she saw it again last night. So yeah.
Wow. So she liked
I think
it.
they are going to be very, very excited.
I know, I
if you
can't
like
wait.
things that are awesome.
The first one was really good too, though.
It was a classic.
I liked it, yeah.
And also because it leaves off on this new one. I don't want to give too many spoilers.
Yeah, just hush. Okay, it was good. She liked it.
To the art form of comic books and the storytelling
The way that they're doing
vehicles
it.
because I think it introduces because there's some frustration. One of my daughter's friends was expressing her frustration with how it ended, and I was like, that's very true to comic books. Like
You were supposed to be mad.
not mad, but there's nothing wrong with like creating that anticipation for the next issue.
It's like soap operas.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're like, damn it. What's
like,
gonna happen
what?
now?
And it's like once very much like Scheherazade.
Shahrazad.
It's like we can finish that one tomorrow. Don't cut my head off.
Exactly. We're gonna keep that shit going. My favorite part about Little Mermaid on the side of this was that my nephew was at my house and we were turning on Disney Plus and he saw like the animation of let me click on it. Little Mermaid from come on, you gotta tell me when this came out. 1989. Okay, that's when the November 17th, 1989 is what I'm getting here. He was like, Little Mermaid. He said, Little Mermaid's black. I was like, yes. Like he had never even seen this. Well, oh my God. Listen, don't hurt them now. They're not ready to hear all that. But I just thought, my God, like for the kids coming up, like she's the Little Mermaid, and I
it's
just
like
love
the kids,
that.
all the kids who grew up with a black president.
Yeah, it's like, wait,
this is normal.
I thought that was regular.
And it's like, oh no, if Reagan was president.
So he had no idea, and I just thought, wow, for a generation of kids, the only thing that they're gonna know as far as Little Mermaid is,
and that means they're not gonna take
Halle
this
Baily.
crap. That's what I like.
We're not gonna take it.
No, we ain't gonna take it.
That's all.
Yeah, like there is something to having that knowledge of like, no, I'm not less
I've always
than.
been here. So
Yeah.
beautiful,
Let's get
beautiful,
on board.
strange.
And to diversity, because no one's trying to be like erase anyone's existence.
No,
Because I mean, hello, the original mermaid is sickening. Like she's still here.
It was
If
beautiful.
you want to watch the old one, it's
It's
still
right
there. It's
there.
not like Disney Plus was like, with the announcement of the new Ariel, we will be taking down the old one. You'll never see it. It's going back in the Disney vault forever, and we're gonna burn all the. No one's doing that. You can watch it whenever you want to. Shout out to all the redheads who got their life off of that, because there is a lot of discrimination against gingers.
I know,
and that's
kinda
not
rude.
cool either.
don't
So
like that.
we're here breaking down all the walls of oppression.
Yeah, man. I
The
like
Fake Ass
that.
Book Club will ride for you.
We shall. All right, friend. Well, I feel like we did that.
I think we did too.
Yeah. So let's wrap this shit up, you
I
guys.
would like to.
So,
Oh wait, we're gonna spin the wheel.
Yeah, let's wrap this up. We're gonna spin the wheel really quickly here and spin it. No.
I liked it.
Okay, yeah, fake ass episode. So it could be about a book, could
We
be
might
about
have a
arts,
guest.
could have guests. We just don't
Listen,
know.
It's so hard to schedule guests, guys. We prefer to have guests. Like I mean, it's not like it's not fun when it's just the two of us. It's great.
Actually, I mean, I like having guests, but I mean,
This is fun too. That's why we still did it.
You
It
see
wasn't
that?
like we
That
don't
was
show up
shade.
when there's no guests.
look at her.
Oh yeah,
Weeping, you know, go ahead and clean it up and give you the mop.
Captain Yuck Yuck
know what
over
I'm
here.
saying?
So no, we can. It's fun, but who knows? It to us sometimes it's a surprise. Like we're waiting on a lot of information, so we're doing the best we can, guys.
It is. It's
Love
true.
you. But we love you
We do love you guys.
because your body belongs to you.
It does. And do stuff that, you know, you enjoy. Like, I like talking to my friend. I mean, she'd rather have guests and everything. So, I mean, that's cool.
Ow.
See, that's what you get. She hit her mouth on the microphone.
We get more views with guests.
I don't care, friend. Okay? So, F you, all right?
like views.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not taking that
and
personal.
likes. Use your little thumb and like us.
I know. Like, share this
And share.
podcast, you
and
guys. with your
review. We haven't had a
friends.
new review in a while.
Right.
If you write a review, we will thank
Not
you
we.
and read the review.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say something ridiculous. We had a lot of fun doing this, and we will just see you guys back here next week. Peace. Before we go, we must give thanks to Urban Nerd for providing our music, and legal services were handled by Trezane M. Atkins. If you like what you heard, please feel free to join us every Wednesday for another Fake Ass Book Club.
Cheers. Thank you guys for listening. You can check us out at thefabpodcast.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast wherever you're listening right now. We want to hear from you. Come put it in our life. Thanks again, and until next time, peace, love, and the Fake Ass Book Club. We out.